Hello again, listeners. This is Kevin, and welcome to another episode of Get Fit Guy. This week, I'm going to talk about the merits of training together and see if it's true that you might get more from your training if you have a training partner. Like most things that happen on this podcast, I'm usually triggered by something that happens in my week. So, sticking with my usual modus operandi, I'm inspired to talk about something that happened this week. A very close friend of mine, using Aristotle's language, a friend of true virtue, was getting into doing some rowing recently at the gym. They were doing great and hitting personal bests. I thought maybe I could help with some advice because I know a little bit about using the indoor rowing erg. Now, they sent me over some screenshots of the monitor after their training and I gave them some tips. But then I realized that tips can be kind of hard to understand just by sending someone a text message. So I decided I would go to the gym and make them a video on how to set up the ergometer and another video showing rowing technique. I did this and then I thought to myself, okay, hold on. What distance is my friend rowing? You know, maybe it would be fun to see if I can match their time or maybe beat it. And if I can beat it, maybe then they can go away and try to beat my time, and this might become a fun little game. So I went out and rowed the same distance. With about 400 meters to go, I was really wishing hard that I hadn't decided to do this. However, it's also possible that if I hadn't made this commitment to playing this new game, at least in my mind, that I was going to play, then I would just have stopped and went to train legs instead. I didn't stop, I finished strong, and then lay on the ground like a dying animal for 5 minutes, trying to recover. So what did I take away from this? Well, there's a real thing in the reason why group training, classes, or even just having a training partner is so common and so popular. If I hadn't had someone to share some info on rowing with, I wouldn't have gone to the rowers on Saturday. And if someone hadn't sent me their rowing times, I wouldn't have had something to challenge myself with. Now, I've sent them my time back as a challenge or inspiration to them. In short, I was inspired to do something physically active at a hard effort because of another person. How cool is that? I've said before on this podcast that the most important indicator of success is adherence. And the biggest indicator of adherence is enjoyment. Unless you have some kind of weird trauma bond to a situation, then either when it's not fun anymore, you seek to fix it and make it fun again, or you just stop doing it. I've had an email in the past with a listener claiming that I'm wrong and that enjoyment shouldn't be a factor in the pursuit of a goal. Now, I can't speak to how a total nihilist goes through life, in spite of the fact that my same rowing friend told me I have a cynical and nihilistic worldview. But I would definitely make the claim that you are more likely to keep doing something if it's enjoyable and exciting. Stopping doing something enjoyable and exciting is illogical. Therefore, it's logical to keep doing something enjoyable and exciting. Which made me reflect on the first time I ever tried CrossFit. And I think why it became popular as it did is just that community feeling. So here's the story. I was living in Hong Kong. I was coaching full contact karate at a gym called Epic MMA. And one of my clients was kind of super wealthy in-house counsel for an investment bank, and had been asked to be one of the investors in bringing this new fitness thing to Korea. So it was about 2008 or 2009. And no one in Asia had heard of CrossFit back then. I myself was interested purely in martial arts. I hadn't heard of it either. But anyway, my client proposed that we take a skiing trip to Korea, enjoy some slopes, some après ski, and go see what the script was with this CrossFit thing. So that's what we did. We went skiing in a place called Yongpyong, which has hosted alpine skiing in the Olympic Winter Games. It was a really great time. And then we went back to Seoul to check out some CrossFit. So we headed into this basement that was going to be Korea's first ever CrossFit gym. It was really near one of the big US military bases. And I think that was their business plan would be, well, maybe some of these American soldiers will already have been doing CrossFit at home, and then they'll come and be customers here. And there was a really lovely coach from New Zealand called Cody, and he explained the workout to us. I remember the workout was called the Filthy 50. And I'll explain the workout in case anyone wants to try it out. It's a 500 rep workout and you have to perform all of the reps of each exercise before you move on to the next movement. You can't mix and match until you get all 500 done. And it is for time, so as fast as possible, 50 box jumps, 50 jumping pull-ups, 50 kettlebell swings at 16 kilo for men, 12 kilo for females, 50 walking lunges, 50 knees to elbow, that's where you hang from a pull-up bar and bring your knees up to your elbows like you're doing a hanging crunch, 50 push presses with 20 kilo for men, 15 kilo for women, 50 back extensions, 50 wall balls, 50 burpees, and 50 double unders, a double under being where you're skipping. And every time you make one jump, the rope makes 2 rotations. You could also Google Filthy 50 scaled workout for a more accessible option if you think you might not be able to perform all the movements as prescribed. Now, I remember that I got to about 30 reps into the burpees and my triceps just cramped up. And I thought, okay, wow, this is kicking my ass. But what happened next was a Korean trainer there who had already finished the workout came over and said, how many reps have you got to go? I said 20 and double unders. And although she was already done and was exhausted, she said, okay, let's do them together. And we did, all the way until I was done. She then gave me a high five, and then I went to the bathroom to be sick. After that, I said to my friend that this was the most stupid thing I'd ever done. About 30 minutes later, I said, oh my God, that was awesome. Can we come back again tomorrow? Now, on my own, I would never have done 500 reps of that workout. I wouldn't even have devised that workout because, frankly, it doesn't make any sense. But it was the fact that someone else came over and helped me to finish it that really made the difference. And, you know, I've spoken about this on here before where I've talked about the difference between training and working out. In training, you have a specific goal, and everything you do is aimed at moving you towards that end point. And it might not be any fun, like bodybuilders force-feeding themselves chicken at night because they need another 50 grams of protein, no fat, no carbs before bed. It can be absolutely miserable. As someone that did sport, I can assure you that it can rob you of the enjoyment. Even more so if you go through it all and then get your ass kicked in the sporting event you were training for. But most people out there, including most people listening to this podcast, are not training for specific goals. They just want to look better naked, not die whilst carrying the groceries into the house from the car, and maybe play with their pets, kids, or grandkids. So I think that letting go of this idea that there needs to be a perfect training plan and a perfect outcome could be useful, not just for getting fit, but for life in general. There's always going to be some curveball that comes at you, and it's how you deal with that and keep moving forwards that's most important. And this is not just for the people listening, but for me too. You know, I'm basically an old man now. And the University Karate Club, the other day, one of the coaches said to me, hey, I think if you train really hard, you could be quite good at this and you could win the British universities. And I just laughed. I'm not going to do that. But you know what I might do? Ask my friend what they're up to at the gym and see if I can go beat their time. Or just something new because it might be fun. So this week, I'd encourage everyone to go out, find a class, some group training, or find a friend to go and do something physical with. And just enjoy it. Be active without worrying how it fits into some perfect master plan. If you have any questions or want to say hi, please email me at getfitguy@quickanddirtytips.com. Get Fit Guy is a Quick and Dirty Tips podcast. Thanks to the team, Morgan Christensen, Holly Hutchins, Brannon Getchis, Davina Tomlin, and me. If you have any questions, you can also voicemail me, 510-353-3104, or send me an email at getfitguy@quickanddirtytips.com. For more information about the show, visit quickanddirtytips.com or check out the show notes in your podcast app.